Hi, it's Mask, and I'm showing you the second part of the CCL War Week 7 YOLO Viper against OneHive. Here we can see Andrea Arne going in against Matty J with a Suilalo. He starts with the Sui, of course, with the some loons to funnel, and breaks in at 11 o'clock, getting a good value for the heroes, getting many air target defenses and great pathing for Lalo. You can direct target Wizard Tower and Archer Tower, and with Lalo spread from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock, he's able to make all the loons converge to the core, where he drops the most of his spells, and ends up with many loons alive, and he's able to clean this base, although there's a Tesla troll which he probably forgot about, because this hit was not fresh, but we tried a 9v10 to start to scout the plan. So next attack we are seeing, it's from Mammoth. He is doing a queen charge Lalo with a wizard, actually two wizards to funnel the queen in, which is gonna break at 9 o'clock on the air defense. He uses a giant tank and a rager, which gets a lot of value on the wall breakers and on the queen and the healers. He tries to do a second wall breaker to break a second tile, but unfortunately giant bomb kills them. They still lure the CC, so they got a little value. The queen luckily turns out, and with the many wall breakers raged, he's able to break 3 layers of walls, reaching the core of the base, and so the queen. He keeps raging, and his walk gets a lot of value, and they start Lalo with the 3 aces, 2 lavas from 6 and 8 o'clock, making all the loons converge on the Inferno towers, and he swags the queen ability, probably because he had the time problems. So good job, Mammoth. Now we are seeing the triple on the 12, which is from Supremacy. This hit was also a cleanup of fresh hit. It's a Sui Lalo once again. They had many Lalo CC, so we chose to do many Sui Lalo. He starts with his heroes to get air defense and possibly the queen, but we will see he faces his Sui. He drops 2 Sky Spell to lure to trigger the heroes and get them with the queen, but as you can see, the little wizard used to funnel as lure the CC, which made him not able to kill the queen. And he anyways does the Lalo and the pre-hastes 3 times and drops all the loons from 3 spots, and he rages all the core with the 3 rages, and he's a bit lucky with the pops killing the queen. He actually Lalo'd like all the base, queen included, without having a Sky Spell. So he has been really good at Lalo, but also lucky, because you need luck to triple when you fail a Sui. So good job, Supremacy. Next we are seeing is Fede on the 15th. I think it's spelled rat, I don't know. It's a Shattered Go Hog. So he starts with some bowlers and archers to make a good fun, and the queen, of course, which gets the town hall out of any defenses range. He starts with the with the bowler CC and 2 golems, tanking all of defenses, so he can world breaker and send all troops right in the core, where he heals, jumps and rage, getting a ton of value with like all the core, and the bounces from the bowlers have a great value, getting all at 6 o'clock also. So he just has to drop all the hogs with 2 heals to end up with a great overkill, and actually all hogs are alive. He doesn't even need the poison. So good job Fede. He has been unlucky on the second hit. Now we are seeing Leo on the 16 Lucky Star VN. He does a Queen Charge hog, our favorite 10v10 army composition. He starts with the Queen Walk at 3 o'clock. Unfortunately he misclicked those wizards who had to be some healers, as you can see. In fact he has been close on time. He also forgot about a healer. In fact he's keeping one and just working with 4, but he got a good covering. So he breaks in at the wizard tower while it's shooting the queen, and he does the second layer world breakers, which actually becomes a 3 layer, and let the queen go in, charging the enemy queen also, so good value from the queen. He starts hogs targeting the Inferno and the wizard tower, where he heals, and he still has 1 heal and poison for all those Skellies alive. He pops a queen ability to get last defenses in the core, and luckily those healers switch from the queen to the hogs, keeping them alive on the last 2 giant bombs. So good job Leo. Next hit we are seeing, it's on the 17 from Jay. This was a fresh hit, so shout out to Jay. He always goes fresh and does a nice job. So it's again a shattered go hobo. I think he has the bowler CC, and starts with the 2 golem spread to tank all defenses. Yeah, golem bowler CC. He rages the kill squad and jump in to get to both heroes CC and possibly Inferno tower, which he doesn't really get, but it's a single Inferno, so he just targeted there, no need of a heal, and he keeps healing, and the hogs go anti-clockwise. He has the 3 heals for all of them. Unfortunately he runs out of heals on the last Tesla Ampere, where there's a giant bomb, but hogs are full health, so they are able to get them down and clean up last storage, which could have been a problem. So nice job Jay, refresh it. Now we are seeing Shisui on the 18. He starts with some hasted looms and the minion and the archer to get the funnel done, and he also triggers some air traps, so great value. He starts with the Sui at 12 o'clock, and the double layer world breakers. He's been really lucky with the second world breakers, because of that wizard tower could have easily killed them. He decides to rage the queen and gets a great value killing the queen. I think he probably chose the wrong side to Lalo, because it was way easier from 11 o'clock. But anyway, he pre-hastes and goes in with the 3 lavas and many looms. It's been fast, so all looms converge to the core, where he rages, and he hastes twice, so he got a nice hit from the looms, and he decided to heal the wizard tower, of course, and he had really many loons alive at the end of the raid, and many pops also to clean up. So good job Shisui. Now we are seeing the hit on the 19 from Trab. This was a beach attack. It actually has been really lucky. He starts with the Barbarian Bowler to bounce that mortar possibly, but as we can see it didn't go right well. So anyway, he drops some archers to do some really fun, and starts with the witches and the golems, a healer. So he decided to keep the flanks without any healer and heal the kill squad. Unfortunately all the bowlers worked, but that healer, as you can see, had a great value. In fact he has been up all the raid. Since the bowlers were out, he decides to heal them. Unfortunately they got a giant bomb right after the heal. So at this moment the raid is really close, but the queen jumps in and gets down the Inferno Tower, and these last two witches and the queen are able to get down the last defenses. So good job Trab. We actually almost triple it with the AJ, who got like a 97%. It was a great plan also. So now we can see Ivan going in on the 20. I hack for fun. It's a Vaho. So he uses the Suicide Queen to funnel, and then goes in with the BK and those Valkyries from the CC, and a poison of course to poison the loon plus some Scally, which always help. He has 4 heals for like 35 bugs, which splits really nicely, and he just keeps healing. Those heals got great value, like 2 giant bombs and the bomb tower, both sides, and he ends up poisoning the last Skellies and the king, and a nice minor cleanup on the core where there are many structures, high defenses, high life points. So good job. Now we're seeing Ong going in Matteo. This is again a queen charge hog. It's a cleanup of time fair, I think. He uses a bowler to funnel the queen, and rages does the second layer wall breakers, which are a bit lucky. In fact the wizard tower targeted a goblin, I think, which was there just to funnel. He unfortunately doesn't bring an archer to kill the lava pop, which will kill his healer. But anyway, he keeps raging and gets great value with the 2 heroes and the Inferno Tower. So he starts Hugs at 3 o'clock clockwise. He has 2 heals only, and the poison, which he uses to kill the skeleton trap. So his queen is getting the core, and he drops the second heal at like 8 o'clock, and there's 2 miners to kill the archer tower, and then all the hogs help doing cleanup. This was also really close, like 1 second left. We've been lucky, but it's triple, so good job Ong. Here we can see Jolly going in new with a queen walk on the side, and then a beach. He breaks with wall breakers the first wall, and sends in all the bowlers and the witch, golem, BK. He's using all this pass in the kill squad, of course. He heals and jumps rage twice, so he's getting all the core down. and the queen on the side, and a bowler and a witch on the other side will get the last buildings which are outside of the base. So he has a great skeleton trap spell on the X-bow while it's locked on the queen, which kills it, keeping the queen alive, and his Rex queen ability. So good job, Jolly. Last 10v10 we are seeing, it's from trap again, so great job on the 6-pack trap. It's the same attack as we have already seen. So it's a queen charge, queen work on the side, and then he funnels with some minions at 9 and 3 o'clock, and with a golem tanking, sends in all the bowlers and the BK, and just to jump twice, rage twice, and the heal, 2 poison on the CC to kill it because the queen is outside. And he wanted to break in at 8 o'clock to get the queen, the X-bow with the queen, but he misses wall breakers, so this raider will become really close actually. He sends a nice hug, but unfortunately the skeleton trap kills it, so the X-bow stays alive. At 1 o'clock he has a witch and a bowler. He sends some wizard to help, but the Tesla killed them, but he has still alive the queen, which gets the job done. So good job, queen. The video ended, and thanks for watching, and see you next time.